Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of pianists you'll see if you watch videos online. If you see them, you'll see a lot of pianists memorize their music. They don't have music in front of them, they're just going off of what they remember, their muscle memory, the visual memory, all of that. And one of the biggest misconceptions about memorizing your pieces is that you can do it by rote memorization. Like, you can sit down and you can stare at a piece of music and you can just bring up the notes in your head and you can read the sheet music when you close your eyes. That's not how it works, but I will be teaching you how to, not how to memorize piano music effectively, but how to help pieces become more confident so they become easier to memorize. A lot of the pieces that I have memorized, I don't intentionally do it. They just happen because of repetition and pattern recognition and scale recognition and just constantly playing it. My fingers become comfortable with the jumps. There's just a lot of repetition in it and muscle memory and all that. So there's four main types of memory that you have will happen when you repeat a piano piece over and over again to the point of memorization. There's muscle memory, visual memory, oral memory, and analytical memory. So again, muscle memory is what your fingers know. It's when you play piano, your fingers will automatically move. You might not think about, okay, my thumb needs to go to C, my pointer finger needs to go to F. Your fingers know where to go. Then you have visual memory. That's if you can look at the sheet music, you don't memorize each note exactly, but you can recognize patterns. You can say, okay, this is this eighth note section, this eighth note run, I know how to do. I can see which notes are higher, which notes are lower. I can see the rhythm. That is also another good way to help you become more comfortable with it that could lead to memorization, is recognizing patterns. Oral memory is how well you remember the piece sounding. If you can sing it in your head, if you can kind of separate the voices, your left hand, your right hand, separate the melody from the bass line, and that part you can, if you can hear it in your head, you can most likely be able to replicate it in your fingers. And analytical memory is, again, just rhythm and like memorizing, knowing what comes where, knowing patterns, knowing scales, knowing like which sections come first, like ABC, just remembering where it goes. So I'm going to be using Passacaglia. That is a very not common, but it's a good beginner-friendly classical piece of music because it is all patterns. The left hand follows the exact same pattern the entire time. The right hand is very, it just follows a pattern, so it's very easy to memorize, not easy, but it's simple to learn. So what it sounds like is... Again, excuse my camera, my range is not the best, so you probably can't see these higher or lower notes, but you're probably wondering, like, oh, how did she just pull that out? It sounds complicated, but it's really not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the piece down into sections. Passacaglia, I have a full video on this in another section. If you want to listen to what the whole song sounds like all together, it will be there. But for right now, I'm just going to be focusing on breaking it down section by section. So the first thing is the bass line, the left hand. So E, or A, E, A. As you can see, this is, or I can play it up here so you can see it. And then it goes A, and then if you keep this hand structure, you go down to D, G, C, F, D, and that's it for the entire piece. So... I forgot to mention the E before, but there is that E. But look, your left hand, your hand shape stays exactly the same no matter where you jump. So I didn't move my fingers at all, I just moved the position. So that is going to really help you memorize a piece, is recognizing these patterns, recognizing hand shapes and rhythms. It's always going to be... left hand. And then your right hand, the beginning part it's another very simple pattern. So C, B, C, A, C, G, C. So you're just going down. And then on the second time, you'll go up. So it sounds complicated, but if you break it down, it's really just the pattern. It's always going to be, you play the C, then go down. Or going up, it's... So if you isolate the hands, you can get that comfortable, and then the left hand, you can... And just play that over and over again until you are comfortable with it. It's just the foundation is recognizing this pattern. If you memorize this part, you've literally learned like half of the entire song. So when you understand the music, that's when it becomes much easier to see where you're at. So again, I'm going to play this left hand part again, and you'll recognize if you look at the sheet music, if you annotate it, you can see it. There's your A chord that goes to D, G, C, F, D, E, A. So I'm not memorizing what each specific note is in my mind. I'm not thinking A, E, A, E, A, E, A, D, A, D, A, D, G, D, G, D. I'm not thinking that in my mind. I just know the pattern and where my hands should go, just because of where they are on the piano. I'm only thinking A, D, G, C, F, D, E, A. So just seeing that progression, seeing that it's the same thing in the bass. Now, using landmarks will help you a lot. So this E, that is a landmark for me because that is the end of a phrase. That means you're starting a new phrase, you're going from this. You're in shift. This little pattern will always fall in time with this E. So it's kind of the end of the phrase, and that is a good landmark for recognizing where to remember to play next. Then, if you forget something, you can always jump to the next landmark instead of stopping completely and restarting the whole piece. It's also very helpful if you start from a different place. So instead of starting from the beginning, if you don't fully know the piece yet, try starting at a random place. So instead of starting at the beginning, what if I just throw myself into G? So. You can hear at the beginning that was kind of messy. I didn't really know where I was going with that, but I figured it out because once I got comfortable with playing where I was and I figured out where I was, just the muscle memory kicks in. So you can try playing you can start your left hand and then throw in your right hand at a random point. And just force yourself to adjust and figure out where you are and what comes next. Another big thing is the mental practice, is to try stepping away from the keyboard. Try it on a table, try it on the lid of the piano if you want to close it on your lap or something. See if you can get the pattern down in your hand, this left hand pattern or even like the right hand pattern, and see if you can play it together. It might look like I'm doing nothing right now. Like you might think this looks crazy, but if I put it on the piano, look, this left hand and this right hand. So it's just all about knowing what your fingers are doing and where you can do it. Also, if you can hear the piece in your head, so in my head I can hear the left hand going that part. I can hear that in my head, and my fingers know what that sounds like when I play it. So I can basically merge the two ideas in my head. And another really big thing is playing it slowly. Slow practice reinforces memory and control. So if you practice it slowly, practice it often, repeat it constantly, then eventually you might not memorize it immediately. Like, you might not be able to learn a piece and then go jump onto a stage and perform it flawlessly. But you can get comfortable with it, you can learn, you can practice, and you can go start small. You can maybe remember a little section at a time, and then, just keep building up. And that is one of the easiest ways to memorize a piece, is just be comfortable, be slow, and really break it down. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.